Welcome back, everyone. Scott again here, and this is our ultimate paint protection film longevity and durability test. We have 8 of the large brands that are offered here in the US on this hood. This hood was sanded down to bare aluminum, painted, and allowed 90 days to cure, and then we were able to acquire and apply these 8 well-known film brands available here in the US. You can check the Google Docs file in the description for more info on each of the films, thicknesses, raw cost, composition, and so on. This hood was originally on my 2001 Honda Insight Hybrid that I was able to put about 6,000 miles on before I sold this car to a friend, but I kept the hood for obvious reasons, so there's only 6,000 miles on it. This update, it's going to be a long one. We're now here at the 1-year mark of this test. This panel has been subjected to spray paint, paint thinner, basically along the top line where the white and the black meet. It's been scratched and scuffed with wire brushes. It's been egged and allowed to bake in the Texas summer heat and then rinsed and washed off. It's been drawn on with a permanent marker, stained with gasoline. It's had bugs launched at it with a slingshot and then baked on with the infrared lamps. On top of that, the only thing we've yet to do is the mustard stain test, which will be coming soon. So on top of all that, it sits outside 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, behind our shop since I sold the car last summer. One also thing to note that Hexus has seen my original video and they asked to be included in this test, so they rushed me some of their film and we put it on immediately. However, it's running 30 days behind all of the others, so this is actually the 11-month mark for it. The black area that film covers is just a wrap grade Oracal gloss black vinyl. So most of you know the drill by now, but of course I'm also doing a quick decon wash for washing this hood into preparation, see if we can bring back some of the hydrophobic properties. Up in the upper right, you'll see the day 1 wash video for comparison of the hydrophobic properties of this. You can see that pretty much all of them are dead. There is no signs of any hydrophobic properties. Again, there hasn't been anything that's applied to the film after this, so it's just the raw film that you're seeing. So hydrophobic properties, anything that was advertised, it's pretty much gone. So we'll show you different angles here. You can kind of see it's sort of overcast here as we're washing it. The water's just sticking to it. Very little, if any, hydrophobic properties. I would call it none. That includes Hexus as well. So if you aren't familiar with these tests, I've been doing things like this for about the past 6 years on YouTube, and all of these sit outside our shop here in East Texas 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And of course we do monthly washes and inspect it until basically we're at a point where we're satisfied that we've figured out which is the best film. I do always have other different products running and other tests, so please go check those out. Click on my other videos. So just after the first wash, you can look at the discoloration. I'll get to those 5 squares in the corner here in a little bit. But Ceramic Pro Cavaca has always been the first one that has discolored. 3M's not too bad. S-Tech is doing okay. Premium Shield's showing a little bit more darker discoloration. Expel Ultimate's more, it's doing a lot better than some of the others. Lumar Suntech, it's kind of yellowy looking, as well as Flexi Shield WSH. Body Fence, it's got some discoloration, but it's not nearly as bad as the others in my opinion. Wait till the end of the video and I will show you another test we're going to do to compare that. So if you look at the clarity of all of them, in my opinion, the clearest one seems to be Flexi Shield, maybe followed closely by Expel as far as like the depth of the color. And so we'll get it under the light and you can see the difference here. Using Scan Grip Color Match lights. So this is just under our shop lighting. These are just LED converted fluorescent type lights. So Flexi Shield, you can see, let's ignore the swirls and imperfections right now. Flexi Shield, you can see much darker than Lumar or Suntech. Suntech kind of has a light haze to it, where Expel's very dark. Premium Shield has a slight haze to it as well. Well, I wouldn't even call it a haze, it's just lighter colored. It's not as deep of a gloss as Flexi Shield and Expel. And S-Tech appears to be kind of on the darker side as well. 3M Pro V4, maybe somewhere in the middle of that. And Ceramic Pro Kavaka, very light, much like Premium Shield and Lumar. Ceramic Pro Kavaka has a lot of water spots, and that's something I may touch on later. Hexus, again, just looking at the depth of the color there. So then we look under the light, and you can see up close. So remember, this has been subjected to a lot of abuse. You can see the circular marks. That's actually where the eggs impacted, and it did some damage to the film. You'll see that in numerous different places. We had 24 eggs that we launched at this hood last summer and then let it bake. I do have all those videos. They're live. You can click on the playlist. I'll leave it in the description of the video. You can see just the self-healing from the heat from the sun. It's not quite doing it anymore. Not just the damage from the brush that, that was some pretty deep scratches, and those are, I'm assuming it got into the TPU, the top layer of the film, and that's why it's not healing anymore, or went through it. So S-Tech had this one little line down the film when we got it. Not sure what that's about, but we're going to kind of ignore that. 3M. You can see 3M, it has a whole lot of those scratches from the brush a long time ago that never healed. That's a bug gut stain. And Ceramic Pro, as I said, it definitely has a lot of water spots on it. Took a lot of damage just like the others, but it seems to not be faring the best compared to the others in this test, in my opinion. Hexus Body Fence also looks like it has some water spots on it. But the general swirls and everything, not that terrible. So this is the brush we're going to use, and I'm doing this on purpose. This is a nylon brush. It's used for basically cleaning pads out, polishing pads, and it has some compound in it. So there may be just a little bit more abrasion in it. I'm not going to use heavy pressure, but the compound in it is most likely Meguiar's M105. So it is a aggressive compound. So we'll see if that causes any additional damage. So using about 5 pounds of pressure, maybe 2 kilograms of pressure. Not very, very heavy. It is a very stiff brush though. So we're going to do that on all 8 of the films here. So if my memory serves me correctly, S-Tech and Ceramic Pro were the only 2 that were originally self-healing. Maybe Premium Shield, if I'm not mistaken. None of them do that now. So if you were to do this on brand new film, on instantly healing film, you could just do this all day and you would never see any scratches or swirls from the abrasion. And that is definitely not the case anymore. I really needed a third hand to do this, so I'm wearing a light on my head as well so you can see it on camera. .3M. So what we're going to do after doing this, we're going to take a heat gun. We're going to take each panel, heat it up slowly to about 180 to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's somewhere in the area of 80 degrees centigrade. Don't have my chart right in front of me for the conversion, but it's 212 degrees Fahrenheit is 100 degrees Celsius. So it's probably in that area. If you were to put this outside in the Texas summer heat, it's going to be at least in the area of 180 degrees Fahrenheit, which is also around the melting point of typical carnauba wax. So So we're using a Milwaukee heat gun. And then after we heat it up, we're going to wipe it with distilled water and see how things look. So far it's looking like FlexiShield, it's not doing a whole lot of self-healing even with heat. Getting warmer. There we go. Max temp 212. It is an aluminum hood, so it absorbs heat very quickly. Doesn't quite dissipate the heat like a steel hood. There we are, wiping it down with distilled water. So the next few, I'm just going to set back to music and you can watch, see the differences, and I'll catch up with you guys here at the end.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boys.
sound right, boys. Make sound good. Make sound good. Make sound good. Make it sound right, boys. Make sound good. Make sound good. Make sound good. Make it sound right, boys. Make sound good. Make sound good.
It sound right, boys. It sound right, boy.
So I thought I needed. So I thought I needed. Thought I needed. So I thought I needed.
Well, so what do you guys think? Do you have a favorite? Something that healed better than the others? Let me know in the comments. I'm going to do one last wipe down here with just this distilled water and look over everything before we put it back outside. So you can see that abrasive that was in that brush. It actually did quite a bit of damage, and that may or may not clear up on its own as it sits outside. Some of the staining and things like that, it did seem like it cleared up on its own with the markers and the bugs and so on. The eggs, not so much. So as you can see, all 8 of them have discolored to some extent. It's just a matter of how much. I tend to lean towards, it looks like Hexus is definitely one that didn't fade as bad, or didn't discolor as bad. However, remember, it's also been on this test a month less. The 5 S-Tech boutique films there, the Dino Matte, Dino Black, Dino Carbon, Dino Prism, all of those, they seem to be doing just fine. However, they were not exposed to the same sort of torture test that the rest of this film was. So there we have it, and I have one last little treat for you here. My wife trimmed about an inch or so off of the top of each of the white portions of the film, and we put them on a 94 color bright piece of paper, so you can really see the difference here. Very noticeable when you put them right side by side. Lumar definitely looks like it's one of the ones that's discolored less. Hexus, you know, you see my thoughts behind that. So anyway, there you go, guys. Appreciate it if you like this video. Comment down below, and of course subscribe. Smash that bell icon so you get notifications. And on your screen are ways to support the channel so you can continue to see tests like this. Again, I'm unsponsored. I don't do paid reviews, and 100% of the products you see tested are paid for out of my own pocket unless otherwise stated. Thanks again, guys. See you soon. We're going to do the mustard test next month on this.